Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming back my good friend, Lynne Griffin, who you all may remember from Black Christmas. She's the first victim who gets suffocated with a laundry bag. I'm having her back on the show today just to have a chat about nothing in particular, just a random chat and everything. And I can't wait because I interviewed her husband the other day, as you know, Sean Gregory Sullivan, and I just wanted to talk to her and stuff and catch up a little bit. I love talking to Lynne. She's a lot of fun, and she's really awesome, and it's going to be pretty cool. It's gonna be really awesome, I think. So, yeah, here is my new interview with Lynne Griffin.
Hello.
Hey, Lynne, welcome back.
Hi, thank you.
How have you been?
Well, apart from Sean and I having colds, we've been good. Maybe he told you.
Oh, yeah, well, I know you told me.
You knew I was under the weather.
Yeah.
Still, but now I'm better because he got me miracle drugs.
Miracle drugs. It's not the hard stuff.
Not the hard stuff. No, the homeopathic stuff.
Right.
Right. How are you?
Well, let's see. I'm on day 5 of this 5-day sugar detox that I've been doing.
Oh.
It's made me suffer, but it's been very rewarding, and I can't complain because the year is finally ending on a good note after having a really dark year.
Yeah, I follow you, I think of you, I always wish you well.
Oh, thank you so much.
I wish you know. Well, you can't have fudge right now.
Well, but yeah, by tomorrow at least.
Oh, is that it? So it's 5 days and then you can go binge again?
Well, I'm not going to go binge, but I just...
Okay.
I wanted to try it out to see if I could do it, you know, and I could do it, and I feel really good.
Oh, okay. So what exactly does that mean? Every sugar in its possible form?
Just, you know, I just needed to cut back on desserts and soda and all that, so I just basically did that.
Okay. That's brave. It's brave, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know that I could do it. Well, I could, but I'm too old to make myself that unhappy.
I'd make yourself
unhappy.
unhappy.
I mean, you get to a point where you go, hey, if you can't have everything you want by now, like, you might as well give it up.
Yeah. Unless your doctor tells you otherwise.
Well, yes, absolutely. If it's a question of, how long you're going to live or not. Yeah, I definitely do it for a few extra decades.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd do it that long, but yeah.
I mean, just so that I could have a few extra decades.
Oh, I see.
See, I'm thinking in decades, not even in years, but that's wishful thinking.
True.
Yeah.
True. So, I loved your performance in Farenheit 451.
Oh, thank you. I was hot.
Yeah. You were.
I was on fire.
I thought that CGI fire, though, was really cheesy.
Yeah, considering it was real. Yeah, I mean, in the end, I go, they did so much, work to have, when they take you from all different angles and all different expressions, and, obviously in the end they have to put the stunt woman in for the total engulfing of the body. But, there was a moment what I noticed where just the face looked wrong.
The face?
Like in the flames. The face didn't look quite like it should. And it's always tricky, because you go, you are performing it, pretty much full up to the moment you would be completely, to the moment that the flames would start to be on your body.
Right.
The flames were very close to me, and they were all around me. So then when they're saying, okay, we're gonna shoot your face now, and you're going, well, it's not, and you're in some weird sort of metal contraption where they're shooting you. I don't even know what that is when they're doing that. But you go, then it's not consistent with your performance, because obviously when you're standing in a metal cage and they're shooting you, you're not fully engaged in the performance the way you are when you're on set.
Right.
Right? So you go, please don't use that face. Don't use that face. Use the face from when I was really there and really in the situation. But, you can't tell. I did see it on a big screen.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I might be way more critical than if you were, watching it on your television set.
Right.
But I don't know. But I still, I still thought it was really, we were quite impressed with the overall story and performances. And I just love Michael B. Jordan. Oh my God, he was so lovely to work with, and so there for me, and all the time, like every single take, he would be there, even if it wasn't on him or even if he wasn't in the shot, he was there. So he was wonderful. Michael Shannon was a little scary. He was intimidating.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like it was pretty intense over there.
Oh yeah, and also, for someone like me who adores actual books, I still read actual books. I go to the library and I get out real books to see so many of them burnt in front of you. I kept trying to rescue ones that sort of meant something to me. You can't burn To Kill a Mockingbird. You can't. I actually rescued a thesaurus. So I'm very fond of words. So, it was hard to see when you have to do something like that. Not as hard as obviously pretending to kill someone, I guess, or even as hard as even to die by fire.
Yeah.
but it was hard watching all the books be burned in front of me.
It was hard?
Yeah, because you were going, wow. They were old books, but they were all real books and real titles.
Mm-hmm.
They had thousands of them.
Wow.
And we set them on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's funny, when I first started doing stand-up comedy, I was always trying to joke about being Croatian, and there's not much written about Croatian stereotypes, and there's nothing really that I know of in my family history, nor does my dad. But I had a friend who said, you should do a joke like Croatians worship Hitler because they burn the books. I don't
get it. Croatians worship Hitler. So why would Croatians not like books or be happy to see books burned?
I have no idea, but I said it.
This is what you're saying. This is why it couldn't be that funny.
Yeah, this was, in the very beginning, over 12 years ago, and I don't know what happened, but it would get laughs. I don't know why.
From Croatians?
Yeah.
It's funny. Why were you performing to Croatians?
Oh, no. I was not performing the Croatians. I was trying to do all these Croatian stereotypes and stuff, ones that me or my friend made up and everything, and that one got a laugh. I also had this one, like, we have very big ears, and if you pull them, every bell in Bosnia goes off, I didn't know what any of these meant, but they got laughs. But then after...
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but then after a while, I stopped doing them because it just didn't feel right to me because I don't know what they mean.
Well, true. Yeah.
Because when you first...
I mean, it's interesting because, in Canada, we always make jokes about Newfoundlanders. East Coast guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
But having visited there, I'm not really sure why. I mean, I think East Coast people are really funny. I mean, they're very... We have brilliant comedians.
Yeah.
All originated in the East Coast area, and I don't know why they're so funny, but they are.
Mm-hmm.
But why do we make fun of them? I don't know. I'm not really sure why. I like them.
I had no idea.
Yeah. But, there's always someone, right, to make fun of.
Yeah, always.
Depends on, it just seems funny to me that people would laugh over a Croatian joke.
Yeah. I mean, the English, they make fun of themselves.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the English, the people from the UK are funny.
Yeah, they are.
And they like to take the mickey out of themselves, as they say in their lingo.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's so true.
Did you enjoy talking to Sean?
Oh, my God. You are so lucky. He is such a class act gentleman, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. He enjoyed talking to you.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. It just, we were laughing about stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
So I'm going to be at home alone all night tonight because Sean is out on an all-night film shoot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's getting pretty cold here.
Mm-hmm. Did you turn the heat?
Yeah.
Did you turn the heat on?
Oh yeah, heat's been on. So yeah, we sent him off with some long johns and a parka. I think he's going to be. I'm not sure whether he's outside the whole time, but all night shoots are tough.
Yeah. I know. I've been on one. I know what that's like.
Oh, yeah. It's hard to kind of adjust your inner clock.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be probably, down for the count for the weekend. I was already trying to plan like what we were going to do this weekend, and he was looking at me like, "Are you nuts? Okay, so we have this lunch on Saturday, and then we're going out to work with these people at the gallery on Sunday." And he's looking at me like, I'm just going to want to sleep all weekend.
One thing he told me though, when you two moved to Canada, he wasn't looking forward to the weather. He told me.
No. He's a Southern California kid, so shoveling snow. And funny enough, when we first got here, he seemed to sort of manage to be away a lot in the winters. Whether I'm sure it was totally subconscious, right? No, because I remember being snowed in here a couple of times and going, why is it whenever it snows really heavily here, Sean is somewhere else. Sean is on location somewhere else, and I'm literally at one point the snow is like halfway up the door.
Wow.
I just said, that's it. I'm just going to stay in until it melts.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, I think he's gotten used to it by now, although I'm not, well, you know, you probably got the real answer from him. He probably wouldn't tell me what he really felt, seeing as I've dragged him up here for the last, 20 years.
Well, he just told me.
Oh, God.
He just told me eventually he got used to it. That's all.
Oh, I thought you said eventually. You said we're going to move
No.
back. Because that's really funny. Sometimes we'll be with, it's not so much now, but there was a period of time when we would be out, you know, with friends, just having dinner, you know, maybe there were like half a dozen of us or whatever, and Sean would say, oh yeah, we're planning to move back to California.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd look over at him and go, what? When did you decide that? Okay, are we? Oh. So, I mean, it would just sort of slip out. You know, well, you know, I'm giving it a, I'm enjoying it, but I think, you know, eventually we'll settle back down in California.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So, you know, who knows? Who knows what he has secretly planned for me?
That would be great. Are you guys going to come down for the holidays again?
Oh, most likely. You know, we have nephews. Sean, you know, whole family likes to congregate. You know, it's sort of San Diego is the sort of family hub everybody comes to from various parts of the country at Christmas time. And did we go last year? Well, he's not here to tell me. Did we go last year?
I think you
Yes, we didn't go at Christmas, but we went for Sean's birthday, which is in February. Because we're doing a Christmas Carol comedy again this year. So I talked to you about that.
Yeah.
So we're here like right up until Christmas, I think. I think we might have our last performance somewhere around the 23rd. So whether we're actually there for Christmas Day or not, I don't know. But we will make a trip there. But it was fun, actually, last year because we went just for Sean's birthday in February. And even though we didn't get to see everybody, it was much more relaxed.
Yeah. I mean, we also missed each other, too, like, because we talked about seeing each other.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, we'll certainly, we will keep in touch to make sure that if we get there,
Yeah.
which I'm pretty sure we will, it's just a matter of when, and knowing that we're doing the show and going, okay, so we have that to do. And, you know, it gets to October, and I say to him, you know, if we want to find some kind of cheap fare, we better start looking, not leave it till the last minute. Although, I mean, sometimes we've actually flown on Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
Funny.
Yeah.
You don't have your own kids. It's like you can be a little more free with the, you know, when you travel. It was a very light travel day, obviously. A lot of people don't travel on Christmas Day.
Yeah. There's usually no traffic out.
Yeah, it's great.
Do you remember the first movie you ever saw?
Wow. That's a really good question. You know, I remember the first movie that really scared me that I ever saw, and I was a kid. So there were actually two movies. Funnily enough, I think they're both sort of horror movies. One of them was The Wolfman.
Mm-hmm.
And the old Wolfman, and this is when I was a kid, right? I don't know how old I would have been, but certainly I don't know why my parents would let me watch The Wolfman. But to me, it's when, and it's interesting because the other movie has the same special effect in it. It's when the person changes from a real person into the Wolfman.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was called The Time Machine.
Mm-hmm.
And in The Time Machine, there's a moment where he goes back I don't know whether he's going back or forward, one way, and he completely disintegrates. And that scared me. These are the ones
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the very, very first one was. It was probably a cartoon.
Yeah.
Probably. And my dad used to love watching the Ed Sullivan Show.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of Ed Sullivan when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. My dad and I used to watch highlights of it when I was a kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I remember very clearly with my dad watching the moon landing.
Oh.
Yeah. The other thing he liked was a show called Mitch Miller, which you're probably really too young to know about, but it was sort of a variety show. And if I'm not mistaken, Mitch Miller was like a musician, but he had his own band, or he was a trumpeter. It was a very weird show for kids to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But that was sort of a religious experience that had to happen, every week that we watched Ed Sullivan and Mitch Miller.
Huh.
Somebody out there will go, I remember Mitch Miller.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The first...
Isn't it funny, though, that when you mention that, the two that I remember most were both sort of horror movies.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Time Machine wasn't really a horror movie, but it was scary.
Well, one of my first movies was a horror movie, The Shining.
That was the first one you ever saw?
Well, it was like maybe the second. My first was the Burt Reynolds movie, Cannonball Run.
Okay.
Yeah, but The Shining, that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah, The Shining is still pretty scary. We watched it again not too long ago. Yeah, that's pretty scary. I mean, what are the things that scare you the most? Like if you were doing a horror movie and they say, okay, so either it's going to be like a home invasion. I'm talking ones that scare me. Home invasion, or you're buried alive.
Oh yeah, Buried Alive.
Choose.
Buried Alive makes me so claustrophobic.
I know. That's Sean. Sean cannot watch a movie where people are buried alive.
Well, there was a TV movie.
He's just like, no, can't watch. Yeah, no.
Well, there was a TV movie in the early 90s where Tim Matheson is buried alive, and it's so claustrophobic the way you see it.
Yeah. I think they do it quite a bit on American Horror Story too, because I know I was actually really enjoying. I was being terrified by watching American Horror Story, but then there was one where someone was buried alive, and Sean said, "That's it, we're not watching it anymore." Yeah, that's pretty scary. And mine is also Home Invasion. There's a movie called Prince of Tides?
Yeah, with
older movie, Prince of Tides.
Barbara Streisand.
In with a home invasion.
Oh.
Also drowning.
Oh my God! I actually came up with a horror story involving drowning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty clever one. It's about a pool cover that's possessed and demonic. That like.
Oh my God, that's cool. Oh my God, you got me on that one.
Yeah, it makes the person stay down in the water and drown. Yeah.
Oh, that's creepy. Oh, when I lived in California for the brief time, I was living in a house that had a pool, and we had a pool cover.
Mm-hmm.
And it was weird because creatures could get caught underneath the pool cover because it was almost like a piece of bubble wrap.
Yeah.
But thick bubble wrap. But you'd roll the pool cover off, and there'd be some. I remember once they told me it was just a potato bug, but it was the size of my hand. It was so big. Obviously, it had crawled underneath and drowned. But that's a really good idea for a horror movie. And hey, I'm up for it, right? Because that would be sort of like Black Christmas with the dry cleaning bag.
Yeah, pretty much. I call it No Bubbles.
Oh
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Write it, make it happen. Yeah. Yeah, it's one that I haven't seen. It's the way to go. I haven't seen. And it is funny because we talk about how many different ways. I guess it came up after doing Farenheit 451 that we came up with how many different ways have died in film. And I was a victim of loss. But I think one of the ones that was still missing from my repertoire, as it were, is drowning.
Yeah.
I've never drowned in a film. I've been shot a lot. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I jumped off a building.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I jumped off a building in 2 different films. So, yes, suicidal. Death by suicide. Very fond of me, casting me for suicidal people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your favorite movies?
Oh my God! Are we talking like recently, or
old? Old ones.
Oh, old ones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of drowning, I like Sunset Boulevard. We watch Sunset Boulevard whenever we're really sick or depressed, because it's like nothing can be more depressing than drowning in some old movie star's swimming pool. That's pretty bad. Old movies were obviously Casablanca. I love Audrey Hepburn. I love all the Tracy Hepburn movies, Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we probably are still watching older movies, although we've gotten better at it since, just this age where you can access practically any movie you want, either on your computer or your television, Netflix or whatever. We've gotten better at watching recent movies.
Mm-hmm.
We don't go out to the movies. Like, for us to go out to the movies and buy tickets and sit and eat popcorn is actually a treat. We don't do that very often, and we love to do it. But when we do it, we always look at each other and think, oh, this is so special. It's such a special date.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny. I guess because we're so used to just going, it became, we'll just go to Blockbuster and we'll rent something, or we'll just go, and now it's just there's just so many choices on Netflix or whatever other streaming you have that you can basically see anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
So, we look forward to movies that are coming out, and then we go, we really need to go and see that one on the big screen, and then, of course, we don't.
Yeah.
He mentioned one he wanted to see. Well, because we both love, we call ourselves junior astronauts. If in fact, we could sign up somewhere to get on a spaceship and fly somewhere, we both would. So, we watch all the movies, all the Apollo movies and all that kind of stuff. And, but there's one that's coming out called First Man that we're very much going to see because it's a space movie, because it's about flying in space.
Wow.
See, that's something not a lot of people know about. We call ourselves the junior astronauts. Trying to think, there was another movie that was coming out recently that went, oh, that sounds really good. Oh, I'd like to see Colette.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm not a big Keira Knightley fan, although I think I've kind of grown to like her more and more.
Mm-hmm.
But that's getting really good reviews. Oh, and I totally want to see the new A Star Is Born with Lady Gaga.
Oh, yes.
And Bradley Cooper.
Yes, and her father is played by Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
I want to see that.
I mean, the reviews for that have been astonishingly good. So, that's one to see on the big screen, I think. Definitely.
Well, I hope it turns things around with Hollywood and stuff and the way movies are made now. I just can't believe just how movies are made now. You take them to festivals and then hope they get picked up by distribution.
Right.
And stuff.
Right.
It's just crazy. I don't know how that started. It had to have started at least in the last 7 or 8 years when I was out of the loop leading up to my accident and everything. I didn't watch a whole lot of stuff, and I wasn't home all the time.
Right.
And I had lost touch with everything, and I think like after like 2007, I like completely lost touch with things, and I didn't know about how independent film was doing during that time.
Right. Right. Well,
Yeah.
yes, certainly the competition. Well, I mean, it's always been difficult. Independent filmmaking has always been difficult, but yeah, now, I mean, costs are prohibitive, and although, I mean, I love the initiative that people have of going, I'm going to make a movie with my iPhone.
Yeah.
I love that. I just shot a little film. We're going to have a screening of it sometime in October.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, someone that I worked with before, and he wrote this little screenplay. Anyway, he got it into some kind of film festival.
Mm-hmm.
And, we shot it so low budget, and, everybody donated their services, and, I like that can still happen. And I think people are getting more inventive now that people have, obviously digital cameras and ways to do it that, doesn't require enormous output and expense. And, but I don't know who it was in the company that actually knew someone at William F. White, so we actually shot it in a film studio, which was great. And, I think you've just got to be a lot more creative, and obviously, but it's much easier to actually do things on a very low budget and still have it look decent, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there certainly was a time, certainly here too, where I wonder, I wasn't out of the country, but there was a time when I really thought the film industry was sort of tanking here.
Yeah.
Canada. But maybe it was everywhere. But I don't know. I mean, it's like, it's a monolithic industry, and how you compete within it and rise to the top is hard.
Yeah. I actually saw a really good Canadian movie from the early 70s. It was on YouTube. It was with Kerr Dullea. It was called Paperback Hero.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that movie, yeah.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty funny and sad at the same time.
Wow. And did you find that just by kind of cruising around YouTube to find it?
Well, what happened was I was looking up his filmography, and oh my God, I did not know his first movie was the original version of that war movie Terrence Malick made, The Thin Red Line.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
He made that in '64, and then I see this one movie called Paperback Hero, and I click on it and I read about it, and then I look on YouTube and I found it.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I never know what movies you can find going on YouTube.
Yeah, little like sleeper movies you can find.
Yeah. Have you ever watched a Canadian film? Sorry, my cat's doing something very weird here. You're going to get caught, honey. You're going to get... Oh, all right, let me just move that out of the way. Called Going Down the Road. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Okay, you should watch this movie only because it's such a quintessential Canadian film.
Mm-hmm.
It was directed by John Shabib. I'm not sure what, I mean, it could have been like early 70s,
Mm-hmm.
It's earlier than that. I don't know. But it's about two Newfoundlanders, two guys who decide to leave town and go to the big city of Toronto, and it is devastating. It is so amazing. I think it still holds up. But there's all these Canadian movies that you could watch, like The Rowdy Man.
Oh, yeah.
Gordon Vincent. Oh, my God. You know, there's wonderful, as you say, kind of sleeper ones that you probably can find on YouTube now.
Well, there was this one that I used to watch over and over again. It's still one of my favorite movies of all time. I actually watched it on YouTube the other day. I used to have 2 VHS tapes of it, but it went away when I was homeless for a while. It was called Breaking All the Rules.
Oh, I don't know that film.
It came out in 1985. It has Carl Marotte in it.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And,
Breaking All the Rules.
oh, God, what's his name? He was the president of the Canadian SAG-AFTRA for a while. Thor Bishoprick.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's in it. And let's see who else. The two girls. I actually found the two girls that were in the movie and asked them for an interview. I haven't heard back from them yet. Caroline Dunn and Rachel Hayward.
Oh, I don't know either of them. Caroline Dunn. No, I don't know either of them.
Well, Caroline Dunn, she was on that show, Sweating Bullets.
Okay.
It was it was a Canadian show that CBS used to play.
Yeah.
And Rachel Hayward, she's still working as an actress. She's in a lot of things up in Canada. And I reached out to her, and I hope either one of them responds soon. Oh, and also Vlasta Verena is in it.
Who is this?
Vlasta Verena.
I don't know who that is either. I should watch this movie.
He was actually in The Amateur with you.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What did he play?
Oh, God, I forget. It's been so long since I've seen that, but
Okay.
I interviewed him a couple weeks ago.
Terrorist. Okay.
Yeah, I interviewed...
Maybe we didn't have scenes together, but yeah. Wow. Okay.
No, but he told me a couple weeks ago when I interviewed him that was one of his favorite experiences because he got to hang out and get drunk with Christopher Plummer.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Did he go to Vienna? Or was he only working on it in Canada? Did he say?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
But he was very nice, very shy, and he was in the first couple David Cronenberg movies, and he couldn't remember any part of them, and he felt really bad that he had to disappoint me like that. But
see, the thing is, I started to because I love to talk about film, but also I started to watch ones that I had done, which I hadn't watched in years, mainly so that I could answer questions about them.
yeah.
Because the first time I did an interview about Black Christmas, and I did it with Art Hindle, and Art Hindle during the interview said, well, it was Lynn's first screen kiss. I looked at him and I went, what? And he said it was our first screen kiss, and I went, wow, I don't remember that. He was really, really offended. And so I watched the film, and yes, we do kiss in it. I didn't realize.
Yes, and I talked to him the other day, and he told me that that he was your first on-screen kiss, and he says, hopefully not the last.
Oh, my God. That's so funny. He's adorable.
Oh, he's a very nice guy, and he had some great John Candy stories.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked talking to him. He was really nice.
Yeah. I have done a lot of horror conventions with Art, so, we've shared a table, and he's just hilarious. I just love it a bit. And we actually both were working on an animated cartoon called Dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing Dot's grandmother, and he was playing the next door neighbor. And this past season, they wrote a script where we had sort of kind of a Romeo and Juliet love affair.
Mm-hmm.
And these are like two old people. Like I'm playing the grandma, he's playing the old next door neighbor. But unfortunately, because it's animated voiceover, we did it in the studio separately. And I said, that's so crazy. They should have had us record it at the same time, like put us both in the booth at the same time. But anyway, it was great because when I saw him afterwards, I said, well, you see, we did almost have another love scene.
Mm-hmm.
Almost.
Wow.
Virtual love scene.
Wow. Yeah. So you've done voiceover for cartoons?
Yeah.
And stuff. Do you know Susan Roman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had her on the show back in like early in the year. Oh my God, such a nice lady. She told me at the end of the show, she was like, "Oh my God, I felt like I was talking to my son."
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's funny too. We're talking about, she did voices for the cartoon movie Heavy Metal. Yeah, she was telling me. Oh God, oh no, I was telling her. The character she does the voice of in that movie. That character gets naked. They animated her naked, and stuff.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I told her about how realistic the character's vagina looks, right?
Oh, what did she say to that?
She was like, "Okay, Tommy, well, I haven't seen the movie in years, but I have to go back and watch it."
Oh my God. Oh, I can't. That's quite amazing. Yeah. The only thing that I've had happen that's similar to that was I did a series called Riverdale.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, and I was playing like this really sweet kind of Irish lady who ran the corner store in Riverdale, which is like obviously a little suburb that actually exists in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we got to I don't know whether it was the second season, they decided that I was not an Irish sweet little lady who ran the corner store. I had a secret past as a stripper.
Wow.
Then they called me and said, do you have any nude photographs of yourself?
Oh.
Actually, I do, but I lied and said I didn't. I didn't want to. I mean, many years ago, there's a wonderful photographer I worked with named George Pastick.
Uh-huh.
And he actually did this beautiful book. He's since passed away, unfortunately, but there's a beautiful book that he did of photographs of a lot of young women. But he put me on the cover, and it's a beautiful coffee table book. But there are some, and I mean partially, you could see like a little tiny, twinkling of breast or something, and
Mm-hmm.
so nothing very graphic anyway. So what they wanted to do in the series was they wanted it to become sort of in the local community, a big sort of splashy headline in the local rag, the whatever daily paper that my real identity was exposed. So they found, I don't know, they put my head on somebody else's body.
Mm-hmm.
And because my stripper name was called the Wild Irish Rose, there was this picture that they mock up. I hope I have a copy of it somewhere. I might have to try and find this. Anyway, it was like this little paper that they put out that was supposed to be in the community. It was a picture of this person, not me, but my head on this person, and she had two shamrocks, well, maybe I guess three shamrocks, placed in strategically on this new person, whoever's picture they used.
Mm-hmm. Wow. You must have been embarrassed.
Sorry, to this day it makes me laugh. It's like, I think I remember once some movie star, I don't know, something like Michelle Pfeiffer or something like that. I'll credit her at the time, but them saying, you have these good deeds. She says, well, you'll have to find me a body double, but I'm going to get to pick who the body double is because I want her to have a great body.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna show me new, I mean, I'm happy to pick someone who's not that everybody else think it's me, but it's actually not me.
Yeah, but you already had a great body, though.
Oh, aren't you sweet?
Oh, come on. When I watch you in curtains and you're up there doing stand up, oh my God! I mean, you're a knockout.
Oh, you're so sweet. You've never seen a movie. I have a movie that's actually, I don't even know if you could ever watch it, but I did when I was way, way young, and I have a nude scene in it.
What's it called?
It's called Divertimento.
No, I never even heard of it.
Nope. It was a short film. It played in movie theaters. It was like, it played, there was a Fellini movie that was called Amarcord.
Mm-hmm.
And when that movie, Fellini's movie Amarcord, was released, it was sort of the short that went with it before they aired the main feature.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very, very, very sweet. But there's the scene where I'm nude. It's just a very, very sort of romantic piece, and Divertimento is music that is played throughout. It's pretty much silent. There's not a lot of dialogue in it. But there's this young woman who, is like, and it's Victorian, so it's a young woman who goes to a fishing hole. It's very hot. She's fishing. She decides to kind of take off her face dress and swim in the pond. And while she's swimming, a bum comes along and steals her clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know if you know an actor named Jim Henshaw.
That name sounds familiar.
A boy comes along. He's a musician. And he finds me naked in the water, and he has a bass fiddle case, so he puts me in the bass fiddle case to hide me until we... Anyway, it's a long, 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 long story. But we shot it at the film studios where they used to have them at Kleinberg. And I call Divertimento Moon over Kleinberg.
Mm-hmm.
Because the director at one point, I'm a good swimmer, but the director at one point had said to me, can you do one of those, like, somersaults in the water? You do it? And I said, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But in the film, what you see is you see me swimming happy, very nice, lovely music playing. You see my head go under, and then this big bum come out of the water and then disappear again.
Wow.
I'm telling you things I've never told anybody before. Anyway, so that's my big nude scene. You get to see the moon rise, my moon rise over Kleinberg.
Wow.
So I know you're going to be dying now to try and find on YouTube somewhere Divertimento.
Oh, hell yes.
Oh, my God. If you find it, let me know, because I'm curious to see if it's still out there, if it still exists.
Yeah. Wow. Did you ever have a crush on any leading men?
I had a crush on all my leading men. I mean, Sean, I married him.
Yeah.
We met in a play. I mean, I had crushes on so many leading men, particularly like when I would do like a stage play with them, because you're sort of thrown into a very kind of intimate relationship very quickly when you're in rehearsal.
Yeah.
That's certainly how Sean and I met. But do I have crushes, or had I crushes on movie stars?
Yeah.
Okay, so I totally had a crush on Anthony Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
I totally had a crush on Alan Rickman.
Mm-hmm.
I still have a crush on Daniel Day-Lewis. This is giving you, obviously, the sort of impression as to what my type is. Totally have a crush on Sean Connery. Still, even old Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Still kind of hot to me. As far as the new youngins go, maybe. Well, I'm trying to think if the Ryans, maybe. I don't know. I'm not that. No, I wouldn't go. Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling. They're okay. But I mean, there's none that I really kind of fantasize about now that are making movies.
Yeah.
I could change my mind in minutes. I'm a woman.
I liked Cary Grant when I was a kid.
Oh, Cary Grant, yeah, definitely.
Natalie Wood, and
Natalie Wood.
My dad, when he was 8 years old, he went to go see The Great Race, and she gave him his first hard-on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. When I'm at horror conventions, some people tell me that.
Really?
Oh my God, there's another truth. Once in a while, somebody will come up to me at a horror convention, some lovely, now probably, well, not middle-aged man, but even some young men who now watch Black Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Say that to me, and it's a little unsettling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's been a couple of guests I've had on the show where I've said it to them, but I've said it in a comedic way, and they weren't offended by it. They
weren't, or they were?
They weren't.
No, I would. I mean, there are people that say, "Oh man, when I saw you in that movie back then, I had such a crush on you," and some of those people, I go, "Well, why didn't you act upon it? I would have been really interested back then, but you didn't act upon it. I didn't even know."
Are you talking about people you worked with?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe they were married.
Maybe, but that never stopped me. Oh, I'm sorry, that's rude. But, back in the day, things were a lot freer, a lot, there was, I grew up in the 60s. It was like free love, and, everybody was, flirting like crazy.
Yeah.
I wish I'd gotten, on Black Christmas, because I was never on the set when Kier was on, because I really wanted to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was never called on the same days that I was on the set, so I never got to meet him.
Huh.
But, I was, crazy crush on him from Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was like a crush, like not like, like I'd like to have like a date with you, but I just thought he was a really interesting actor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and a lot of these people, it's mainly because I think talent is sexy.
Yeah.
Like, untalented people, they're just not so sexy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep saying to Sean, I say sometimes it's hard to be really, really good friends with someone who's a bad actor.
Yeah.
When you're an actor, because you have to go see them in things, and then you have to go, oh, what am I going to say after I've seen them in a film or after I've seen them on stage? I mean, I think that's why some of the actors that I said I had crushes on, it was maybe because I thought they were such good actors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that makes sense.
Talent is sexy. Talent is sexy in women, too. Very much so.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all the ones I've liked, are really good actresses.
Yeah. Did you ask Sean who his favorite actress was?
No, I actually didn't get to, because we were talking so heavily about his movies, and he's got so many great movies I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Because you know who it is?
Who?
Well, he once confessed to me anyway. It was Jodie Foster.
Really? And I think she's a lesbian.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, phew.
That's funny. That is so funny. No, but I like those early movies she did.
Oh, yeah.
Taxi Driver and Foxes.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever, was it her? Did she do a movie called Now?
Now?
That's one that I remember, a very favorite one of hers.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did a movie called The Accused with Kelly McGillis.
Oh, she was brilliant in that. Didn't she win an Academy Award? She won the Academy Award for that.
No, I think she won for Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, maybe it was Silence of the Lambs. Maybe she was nominated for The Accused, though. She was really good in that.
I think she was nominated. And Little Man Tate.
Yeah.
There's an interesting story about that movie. Joe Dante, who made Gremlins, and The Burbs and Inner Space and all these like fantasy genre movies, he was supposed to direct Little Man Tate. He like spent a year like doing pre-production on it, and then he had to drop out of it, and then Jodie Foster ended up directing it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. That's very interesting, because I remember that I thought it was good material for her because of the nature of it being about a sort of very special child. And she was, obviously a very special child.
Yeah.
Herself. So she would understand it a lot.
Yeah, one of her first jobs, she was the voice of Wednesday Addams in the Addams Family cartoon.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
As a Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Right, yeah. Of course.
Yep. So what do you think about the I don't know if you want to get into this. You post about it on Facebook a lot about the upcoming election and stuff.
Thank God. Well, thank God. I mean, we've been watching quite. Certainly watching the Supreme Court confirmation hearings, and very, very hard. It's been really hard. The women's movement has, taken two big steps forward and then taken one big step back. It's hard. I mean, I try and stay out of American politics because, the only real arguments that Sean and I have had been about politics, generally, American politics. But I just think it's a really hard time when, the President of the United States is saying it's a hard time for young men in America. Well, talk about what a hard time it is for women.
Yeah.
We watched today, and, Susan Collins went over and Flake went over. The only one is Murkowski, who actually, voted against Kavanaugh. It's really hard to say that everything is like on an equal playing field and fair. This Christine Blasey Ford comes forward and has this incredibly compelling testimony, and it's like so hypocritical because we're dealing with an American president who's got like 19 women who have accused him of the same thing.
Yeah.
So, what kind of standard have we set? You're going through all those machinations over whether they're going to appoint Kavanaugh when you go, well, of course they are. But at the same time, I'm watching the women who have been protesting and getting out, speaking out, and you're just going, I think the midterm elections are going to really tell us a lot. And I think women are going to get out and vote. I think young people are going to get out and vote. I think between what happened at Parkland and coming out, rallying, and now women. I mean, there's going to be another huge women's march in January. If there isn't one tomorrow, I would be surprised if there isn't a huge women's march tomorrow spontaneously in Washington over the appointment of Kavanaugh. Because we just don't feel we're being heard.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the Me Too movement was such a step forward. And those guys, they were just dropping like dominoes. All those, heads of studios and TV networks and everything. It was just like happening all over. But then when it comes to our actual people that are in government, nothing sticks to them.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, when it comes down to a he said, she said thing,
yeah.
I mean, I wish the FBI had done a more thorough investigation, I guess. Because it seems to me there were a lot of people who weren't eventually interviewed or interviewed under oath or, so.
Yeah, it seems like it became a witch hunt.
Oh, yeah. Terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't know, when it comes down to who are you going to believe?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard, especially when it's something that was like, 35 years ago.
Yeah, God, that just angers me hearing about stuff that happened 40 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just.
I don't know. So it's hard that, well, first of all, I go, let's get rid of the Electoral College. First of all, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of lifetime appointments on the Supreme Court. Let's have people who are in power subject to criminal investigations. They can be charged. These people are not above the law. And don't give anyone a lifetime appointment to a position, because people change and things change and society changes, the climate changes, everything changes. So letting someone say, okay, we're going to appoint you, you're 53 years old, that guy could be on the court for 30 years.
Yeah.
We still don't know what the truth is. So you go, now that he's going to be appointed, are we still going to continue to try and find the truth of this guy? I mean, I don't know. It's very, very screwed up, you would say.
Yeah.
And I hope the midterm elections actually shake things up a little bit. And, but who knows? And who knows what's going to happen, in the next presidential election. I don't know. But at this point, I can't see Sean and I moving back to the States.
Yeah.
Until there's a little, until it's a little calmer. Because I just think everybody is so mad and so fearful and so partisan. And they, I'm afraid there's going to be riots.
Really?
That you're going to have Democrats fighting Republicans, men fighting women. Oh, my God. It's just like people seem so hot under the collar about what's happening.
Yeah.
And, the land of the free, home of the brave, I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like that so much right now. But, I mean, I was watching today and they're saying, this is like great for Trump, obviously, because, he's got two of his Supreme Court nominees now through. I mean, he's got the lowest unemployment rate ever. So it really does seem like he's accomplishing great stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes he can be such an asshole.
He can.
And you go, you have no moral compass. Like, and basically that's what I just say. They should all just shut up. Because he seems to just dig himself in even further sometimes. And you go, you did something good. You said, yes, okay, we'll have the FBI investigation. Then don't go to the next rally and mock the poor woman who testified, who brought this charge against Kavanaugh. Can you just not do that? Can you just behave like a grown-up?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what your politics are. We try and stay cool in this household because, Sean's American.
Yeah.
So we try and stay pretty cool. But, then, of course, we elected Doug Ford, too. So we have our mini Trump now. But, as I said, the other day I looked at Sean and I said, I think you just about had enough. You just about, I've stretched your tolerance level of talking about politics to the absolute extreme. And now we have to watch cat videos on Facebook. Because it's so hard. You just get so upset. Because you're going, everything seems unjust. And, I try not to be an angry, rampant feminist, but
Yeah.
the big rally, I was trying to stay out of the Me Too movement and just go, I don't know. It's swinging so far now, and, I think every man is shaking in their boots, thinking they're going to be, hauled on the carpet for something that they did 30 years ago. But at the same time, you go, you have to listen to these women. You have to hear their stories. You have to realize that maybe, it's hard to get over something like that. It's an imprint on you for the rest of your life. I don't know. It's a patriarchal society. It always will be.
Mm-hmm.
So we try and keep the voices being heard. Try and listen to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things, there was something I watched, Lady Gaga was on. Was she on with Colbert?
Uh-huh.
She was very smart. Just, talking about kindness.
Yeah.
And that's where it needs to go now. It needs to get back to, treating people as you want to be treated yourself.
Right.
Listen to and communicating honestly with everybody, with each other. That's what I wish for humankind.
Well, at least we got each other to be kind to,
Exactly.
I mean, the whole world.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the whole world will come around eventually. But at least everybody's subjective and they got their own ways of being kind.
Well, it's hard, isn't it? And it's hard when you have a voice, a social voice, like for yourself when you were saying, were there some people who were just being mean to you for no reason?
Right.
And you go, what is it? Because you have a social platform.
Right.
And there's going to be somebody out there who's going to be aggressive and not like what you have to say.
Yeah.
And you go, well, I mean, there was a movement, I don't know whether it was last week or a few days ago, where women were saying, let's all black our profile pictures out on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, I guess I should do this. And then there was a lot of backlash where people were saying, don't hide. Like, by blocking out your picture on Facebook, you're actually saying, I don't want to be seen. I'm hiding it there. And that's the last thing you want to be doing at this point. You want to be heard.
Yeah.
So, I'm just thinking back of when I'm saying, why don't they just shut up? And you go, that's hard too. It's hard to say, well, just, sit back and take a breath before you speak up, before you accuse someone, before you get on their case, before you attack them. Just sit back, take a breath, think about how you would like to be treated in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that would make everybody be a little kinder to one another.
Oh, I totally agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Oh my God, when everyone started doing the black thing, I didn't support it. I didn't like it because I knew that by doing that, they're saying they want to be invisible, and I didn't want to be the one to tell them that.
Yeah, I know. But at first there were so many people who had sent me that, saying, do this, solidarity, as a woman, do this. And I was like, ooh. And then I went, anyway, so I put a big red heart on mine.
Mm-hmm.
But, what am I trying to say? What do I want people? But because we have the social media, this is what happens. These things become viral and they spread, and they're coming from an angry place.
Yeah.
And that makes me very sad.
Mm-hmm.
And well, we just get back to the same point of we've got a lot to learn to get back to treating one another humanely and caring about each other. And that's stop all the division and start trying to reach across. Take somebody's hand, reach across the aisle.
Mm-hmm. God.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's just no other way to put it.
Nope. We sigh.
Yeah.
And that's all I got to say about that. Voting Forrest Gump.
Yeah. I don't generally, talk politics and stuff though. But last time you were on, that's what we talked about. We were laughing and everything about it and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of hard to ignore, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't ignore it. It's like it's in our faces, and so it's just how you process it so that it doesn't give you like major anxiety attacks too.
Mm-hmm.
That you got. I mean, I'm sure there's so many people out there that this past couple of weeks. I mean, it's upset me. So I know there's people that it probably really has a negative impact on.
Yeah. I was watching this podcast interview that Ted Nugent did right now.
Oh God!
I love his music. I don't like his politics, but he said two things that I just couldn't agree with more and stuff. He said, remember back in the day when all neighbors knew each other and they used to go over to each other's houses for barbecue and have fun and like show concern for one another. It's like he's like, all the people who lives in his neighborhood, they're not like that anymore. They're just people are just so into themselves now, and he says he doesn't even think they're aware that they do it.
Yeah, I think I think we all kind of tend to sort of build up walls and hibernate, to protect your own little kind of nuclear family.
Yeah.
Or, the friends that you have. I think we've done it just because there's just so much fear mongering. There's just so much fear. And there's so much mistrust. And people are afraid to be betrayed.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
And he also.
I mean, I remember very clearly, going to play in your neighbor's backyard and, pouring the cup of sugar. Sure.
Yeah, God. The last time my mother did that was probably about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, God, it's changed radically. And when I moved here to Reading a year ago, I just couldn't believe how people were standoffish here. Though, but I will tell you this: we had some fires down here this summer.
Yes, I know you did. Yeah.
Yes, And there are these neighbors here. They've been here. They haven't been here. They've been here, since probably the year began. They've been here a shorter time than I have, but they showed great concern for me, because we were like the only ones who didn't leave the apartment complex. Like everybody left, but we didn't. And we saw each other outside, and like we showed concern for one another. And we've seen each other a number of times since, and everything. Now that's the kind of stuff I like,
Yeah, but it shouldn't take a fire to bring that out in people.
Oh yeah, well,
Catastrophe.
I don't even think we knew we existed until then.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, though we have very lovely neighbors, but they're from they're from Slovenia. They bring in our garbage cans and we bring in theirs, and
Yeah.
I mean they put our garbage cans out if we forget.
Yeah.
They're Bosnia Sarajevo. They have such big hearts.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's but that's our immediate next door neighbors. I can't say I know really very many people in the neighborhood other than that.
Yeah, these ones are on the other side of the complex. So
Yeah.
I didn't know who they were beforehand. They didn't know who I was and stuff.
Right.
Although I do know I saw at least one of their kids at the swimming pool during the summertime, but that was about it.
Yeah, but do you think it's because? I mean, I almost think now if even with say a neighbor you didn't know very well,
Mm-hmm.
but you knew and you went up and you introduced themselves, but they would be kind of going, "Oh, that's weird. Why are they doing that?"
Yeah.
Instead of just thinking that was really a nice thing to do, to say hi or to say, you live across the street from me.
Yeah.
I see your dog every day. But people seem to be, and is that, have we become that mistrustful of each other?
It seems like it, yeah.
And when did that start? We were talking about things changing. What?
Well, I remember.
12 years ago.
Well, I remember. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just wondering,
I remember around 2004. My dad moved in. My dad had moved into this apartment complex, and I would stay with him a couple of months out of the year sometimes. And I remember, like, certain neighbors I would meet and stuff. They were like that, and I didn't know why. And then there were these two that were. The girl was my age. I was like 21. She was 21, and her boyfriend was like 28 or something. And they would be all cool and friendly to me when I would see them and stuff, but they never invited me over whenever they would have gatherings or anything like that. I later found out that they were on drugs, but yeah, that was like the beginning of it, because up until 15 years ago, yeah, I mean, we had neighbors that would come over and borrow stuff, and we'd socialize with them and everything, but then it just drastically stopped, and I don't know why.
Well, it's interesting because, I'm thinking back to 9/11, and I'm going,
yeah, it slowly but surely progressed.
Was that when the erosion started?
Yeah.
After that,
it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah, fear level skyrocketed for sure.
And I don't know why. I mean, nobody looks like nobody who's Caucasian and fresh faced and wholesome. I don't think they could be a terrorist.
No, but I mean, most of the people young white males do the mass shootings. They don't look like terrorists. So I don't. But that's it. I think the scary part is that people feel they don't know who to trust.
Yeah. I think you just answered your question, Lynn.
Yeah. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you.
But so going back to what Ted Nugent was saying, another thing he said was that yeah, it's funny because me and Sean we were talking about San Francisco because we're both from there and stuff. Ted Nugent said that if you go to San Francisco, the only mental facilities you'll see there is on the streets, and that's true. The homeless epidemic there is just insane, and these poor people are not being taken care of with their mental illness.
Right.
You know.
God. Yeah, that's really sad. And again, that huge sort of divide between the have and the have-nots in places like that.
Yeah, there's these documentaries on YouTube that have been made in the last year or so about the homeless epidemic, and it's really scary.
Wow.
And there's comments on YouTube from people who were homeless in San Francisco talking about how they got out of it, and this was like before 2010 or even before 2000, and it's really inspiring to read this stuff. And I'm lucky. Me and my mom, we didn't get to that point. We were living in hotels and staying at friends' places and living in our car sometimes, but it didn't get that bad for us. But we're so lucky. But we saw so much fucked up shit that was going on in the system. I'll tell you, with all these organizations and these programs that we talk to and everything.
Yeah. Well, again, mankind needs to be kinder. And I guess, rather than just going, oh, well, thank God that's not me.
Yeah.
And I'll never get to that point. Well, it could happen to any of us.
Yeah. Oh, I used to be one of those people. I used to think I was never going to be homeless, and then it did happen.
Yeah.
Well,
it's it's a great lesson to learn. If only we could learn it without learning it the hard way.
Mm-hmm. It's sad. Yeah, but all I'm doing is just sitting back and watching the show.
Yeah. And, to end on a happy note, we go at least where you're doing something positive. You're communicating.
Mm-hmm.
Getting out there, you're talking to people. You're talking to people in a business that is supposed to bring entertainment and release from day-to-day worries and hardships. That's what we're trying to do.
Exactly.
Storytelling is about that. It's hard too, and there are hard stories to tell, and there are joyous stories to tell, but we balance it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I got some jokes for you, Lynn.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
Okay, this does not represent my personal beliefs. It's just a really sick joke. That's all. Two pedophiles are sitting on a park bench, and a 12-year-old girl walks by, and the first pedophile says, "Hey, will you look at that one?" And the second pedophile says, "Yeah, she must have been something in her day."
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's pretty sick.
That's an old street joke going back to the 50s.
Oh, God. I'm trying to find, I have one, it's not really a joke, but I have one that I wrote down. Oh, yeah. This is, okay, you can have this one.
Okay.
I don't know who said this. It might have been, I didn't write down who said it. Anyway, so I can't take credit for it. But time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana.
Mm-hmm. Fruit, I don't get it.
It's funny.
Time flies like an arrow and fruit flies like a banana. but but it is a banana.
Do you? Okay, you can think about it, and then you can let me know if you think it's. I thought it was humorous.
Oh, I get it now. I get it.
The light bulb went off. Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
There you go. See, I like ones like that. Because when I first heard it, I went, yeah. So then it was, it's witty. It's very witty.
You know why Jewish girls don't like to suck dick?
Why?
Because it's too close to the gas chamber.
Oh, you know what I heard it as?
What?
Because they, it was like, why? Oh, no, it was why did Jewish girls like circumcised men?
Why?
Because they can't resist anything with a third off.
Oh, that's bad. That is bad.
There you go. Well, that's the worst in me, Tommy.
I know, I love it.
The X-rated interview.
So do you have any upcoming projects?
Well, we're doing, well, that's because I'm not transitioned into, because I'm still doing all that I do, but I'm becoming this visual artist, so I'm having a show in a gallery, but we're also doing a performance art piece, Sean and myself, for the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos. So we are deep in preparation for that, where we're writing it. Sean is learning music for it. I'm doing a lot of artwork that I will sell at this event. And then we go straight into rehearsals for a Christmas Carol, which we've done before, but this year we have a brand new Scrooge. Sean is still playing everybody else, and I'm directing it. So we actually have a full run at a theater in Toronto this year, making its Toronto debut this year. So we'll go into rehearsals for that right after, towards the end of November, I guess. No, not the end of November. We'll go at the end of October. The end of October, we'll go into rehearsal for that. And the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, is obviously November 1st. So that's right after Halloween. So that's what we've got so far, and then looking forward to, hopefully getting out of the snow and cold and, heading south for at least a week or two over to snowy holidays, and that's so far all we know. And, on the old audition treadmill, and hoping to 2000, what is it? 2000 what?
It's 18.
2019!
It's coming up.
Brings us, my wish for 2000, I'm dying to do another horror movie, so I'm putting it out there to the world.
Well, I had this script that I'm trying to sell. It's about a lesbian Catholic schoolgirl who moves into this apartment complex that's being haunted by her imaginary friend from childhood who used to be alive, and he used to be a security guard at that complex. And I have all these guests on the show that I've become friends with, that I've hung out with at conventions and stuff, in mind for certain parts and everything.
Good.
And there's this one character. She only has 2 quick scenes. I keep thinking, this person would be great for this role. This person could be great for that role.
Right.
And stuff. But I don't know. For some reason, I'm thinking of you at the moment.
Well, I wonder why. Do you think that's just because we're talking to each other?
It could be, because I just don't. It's the one role in the script I don't really know who could play that role.
Mm-hmm.
It's
funny because someone who I
hologram.
Yeah.
You,
Okay. So maybe I'm going to Skype with a German director to play a hologram.
do you think you'd be interested in doing that? Playing a hologram?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. It would be cool.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, obviously they do all the special effects, but I'd be like, like the one in. There's a hologram in Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson plays a hologram in the prequels.
Yeah, cool. I like that. So yeah, maybe that'll be my next project. But interesting that I'm gonna Skype with some German director. You never know what's around the corner. That's all. You don't know what's coming up next.
Yeah, it's a crazy.
Except for the two things I just told you. They're coming up next. Yeah. So yeah.
It's the crazy world of acting. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wish if I had money and in Canada it wasn't so freezing cold, I'd come see the plays.
The next conquest is to do. We want to do Christmas Carol in San Diego, where we get to do it and have Sean's family see it. So but you can only do it one place. It's hard to because it's such a limited thing. People only want to see Christmas Carol for a couple of weeks in December, and then they don't want to see it in July.
Yeah, not in July.
Doesn't play well in July. But who knows? So we will keep you posted.
Yes, let me know about that. If you want to stop in Reading for a little bit and say hi, that would be great.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Lynn. Well, thank you so much, hon, and glad we got to do this again, and we'll talk and everything.
All right, my love. And you take care, and have a great life, whatever is coming up.
And cherish the time you have alone while Sean is doing his all-night shoot.
I know, it's kind of cool. I'm not sure what to get up to. I could watch something really racy on television. No, I wouldn't. I'd rather do that with him. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm reading a book right now. I'm reading Todd Fisher's book that's about his mom, Debbie Reynolds, and Carrie Fisher. Actually pretty good.
Nice.
Reading that. I don't know. I like to read, film autobiographies of actors and stuff. So
I do too.
Finish that book tonight. Anyway, I'm gonna make myself supper all alone.
Nice. Well, you have yourself.
You take care, my love.
Oh, yes. You have a great night.
All right. We'll talk soon.
Yep. Talk soon.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Lynne Griffin. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Lynn. I just love talking to you and talking about politics and funny stuff, Even though I'm not a political guy, I love talking politics with you because you're so smart and you're so right on. And I just love talking with you because you're a national treasure, Lynn. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes!